What if one of America's most outspoken voices just hinted that Charlie Kirk's death wasn't what we were told? Because this week, Joe Rogan didn't just question the story, he ripped it wide open. And his comments have left the internet wondering, who's really pulling the strings behind Charlie's legacy? Charlie Kirk, the political firebrand behind Turning Point USA, passed under circumstances that still feel too neat. But when Joe Rogan brought it up on his show, fans felt that old unease rise again, that feeling that something's off. And what followed was an online firestorm that not even Rogan could have expected. It began quietly. Just weeks after Charlie's passing, his widow Erika made her first major public appearance, a memorial speech streamed nationwide. On the surface, it looked heartfelt, but something about it didn't sit right with people. Her confidence, her tone, the perfectly rehearsed pauses. Viewers flooded comment sections, calling it strangely polished. One viral tweet read, "That didn't look like grief. It looked like strategy." And before long, Erika Kirk wasn't just a grieving wife, she was the internet's newest obsession. Then Joe Rogan got involved. During an episode of The Joe Rogan Experience, he brought up Charlie's death with a mix of disbelief and curiosity. "I don't know, man," he said. "Something about it doesn't add up. It all feels too orchestrated." That single line spread like wildfire. Clips of Rogan talking about cover stories and media coordination racked up millions of views overnight. And soon his words were being dissected, quoted, and misquoted across TikTok, Reddit, and YouTube commentary channels. But it wasn't what Joe said that sent shockwaves. It was who he hinted at next. Rogan's podcast touched a nerve. He questioned how Erika had stepped into leadership at Turning Point so effortlessly, like the transition had been prepared in advance. Reports started circulating about friction between her and Charlie's inner circle. Some fans claimed that, even before his passing, there were tensions over direction and funding. Rogan speculated that power players within the organization may have wanted Charlie out of the spotlight. He didn't name names, but everyone online already had someone in mind. And just as the debate reached boiling point, another voice entered the chaos. Candace Owens, a longtime friend and ally of Charlie's, suddenly broke her silence. In a fiery podcast episode, she said she'd seen strange inconsistencies in how the situation was handled. She claimed there were missing details, deleted footage, and unexplained gaps in the timeline. Owens's comments reignited everything Joe had said. Only this time, the focus wasn't on theories, it was on Erika. Candace didn't accuse her directly, but her tone said everything. "It's weird how fast some people move on," she remarked, her voice heavy with implication. That one line had fans convinced. Maybe the truth was being buried under layers of image control and corporate spin. And then came the speech, Erika Kirk's viral memorial address. A perfectly written, emotionally balanced tribute that seemed more like a campaign than a eulogy. She didn't cry. She didn't break. She didn't stumble. For some, it was strength. For others, it was proof of manipulation. "Grief doesn't look like that," one viewer commented. "It looks coached." Within hours, body language experts on TikTok were breaking down her gestures frame by frame. Was she sincere, or was this damage control for something bigger? Even Joe Rogan revisited the clip, calling it eerily then came the leaks. Screenshots, alleged texts, and whispers from unnamed insiders began surfacing online. The messages suggested that major donors were already pushing for Erika to take over Turning Point weeks before Charlie's death. No evidence proved it, but the implication was enough to set social media ablaze. Candace Owens responded with fury, posting, "You can't replace a man whose story hasn't even been told yet." The tweet went viral instantly. And while Erika stayed silent, the silence itself spoke volumes. The internet started to split. One half defending her as a woman carrying on her husband's legacy. The other half convinced she was rewriting it. Then, a single image changed everything. Erika Kirk was photographed embracing Donald Trump at a private event, smiling, confident, and seemingly at peace. The picture exploded across X and Instagram within hours. Supporters called it inspiring, proof she was strong and moving forward. Critics said it was chilling. "She's not mourning," one post read. "She's networking." Joe Rogan reacted again, suggesting that certain images were released intentionally to control public perception. And that comment, that small passing remark, reignited every theory, every whisper, every doubt. By now, the narrative was beyond control. Was Erika Kirk the victim of endless online harassment? Or was she quietly consolidating power behind the scenes? Some reports claimed she was restructuring Turning Point, removing Charlie's closest advisors and shifting its messaging. Rogan hinted that she might be influenced by bigger interests, guiding the organization. Again, he didn't make a direct claim, but his tone said plenty. He ended that podcast segment with a haunting line. "When it's real, people stay quiet. When it's a show, everything leaks." And just like that, the internet froze. Since that moment, debates have raged across every platform. Clips of Rogan, Candace, and Erika have been sliced, re-edited, and shared millions of times. Every gesture, every silence, every photo is being interpreted as proof, one way or another. But what's the truth? Was Joe Rogan exposing a cover-up, or was he feeding into the chaos? Is Erika a grieving widow, unfairly targeted, or the face of a deeper political play? No one knows for sure. But what's clear is this: Charlie Kirk's story didn't end with his death. It's evolving, reshaped by power, perception, and the people left behind to control his legacy. And whether you believe Joe Rogan was right or wrong, his words have forced millions to ask the same question: who really benefits from the story we've been told? Because in this world, truth isn't what's proven, it's what survives. So, what do you think really happened? Was this just grief and coincidence? Or was Joe Rogan onto something bigger? Drop your thoughts below. We read every comment. If you want the full timeline of leaked texts and insider drama, make sure to hit subscribe, because the next chapter